What's up, guys? Alright, get that out the way. Got some new things I'm going to talk about. Got a new little play toy here, thanks to Vulgar Vape Dude. Main thing I'm going to be doing on this one, I'm not going to rebuild the coils, but I'm going to kind of go through and show you a little bit on that Zenith, and I'll kind of go through on this new little toy here and show you a little bit. Like I said, I'm not going to rebuild this thing. I need to rewick it. I'll do that, but there's a few little tricks that I do that I haven't seen anybody else do, and I'll kind of show you that and kind of go over that with you. And if I'm doing it wrong or if somebody's got a better way, hell, tell me about it. I don't give a shit. Anyway, I showed y'all this thing in a previous video, but I'll kind of dive up close on it here. There's a few. This is an authentic. I can't remember the name of that damn drip tip. I got it in my local shop. I get everything in my local shop, well, except for that. But this is an authentic Zenith. I like the shit out of it. I've been vaping the hell out of this thing. But it needs rewicked badly. It's starting to get kind of funky. Right now, she is sitting at 0.28, I believe. That's where I got her sitting. Dig around in there. Uh-oh. The old voltage ohm meter's on in the bag. That's never good. Yeah, she's a little juicy underneath it. That's the downside of these Zeniths, guys. Now I'll get into that here in a second. They tend to get a little juicy on you. They tend to leak. But hey, that's a typical RDA. They leak on you. Double check my math here, because if I remember right, yeah. Backwards in there. 0.28. It's right for me, y'all. It probably ain't, but it says 0.28 to me. So yeah, we're sitting on 0.28 ohms. Not super sub ohm, but it's still sub ohm. Hell, I like the shit out of it. Good warm vape. I always kind of question that. You know, everybody sits there, oh, it's a good warm vape, or oh, it's a hot vape. Yeah, well, there is a damn difference to that shit. I'll tell you right now. But actually, this thing's kind of stiff. I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the mod, too. I'm going to be safe today. I have not done this in the past, and it's bit me. Take the battery out. The good old AR mod. That way I don't accidentally fire. Screw her back down on there. And pop the old cap off. She's a little stiff. Not too bad. But that's what we're dealing with inside there. Now I'll get the juice off and kind of show you. Like I said, I'm not going to rebuild the coils. I'll kind of show you some tricks and tips of what I do to rebuild my coils. But, no, I like this thing. And the Zenith, you've got, well, I might not have took that off already. You got this nice big Delrin ring up there. And, man, she's nice. Then you got your adjustable airflow ring. And you can set this thing up. Yeah, there it is. You got, see them three there? You can set it up on that one right there for running a single coil. Or you can set these two on the sides up for running dual coils. Man, she is flat covered in juice. I ain't disassembled her in a little while. She's a little funky underneath there. But, anyway. I'm going to set her back up for dual coil just because that's what I prefer to run. Get her lined up just right. And it's got a decently deep little juice well down inside there. I mean, it's a good little juice well to it. The biggest bonus feature to this thing is it's got Allen heads for the set screws. And man, them things, you sit there and cinch down on that Allen wrench, and you can over tighten them. You can break the wire. But you cinch down with them, they stay put. You don't have to worry about them backing out of there, man. And right now, it's got decent holes for your wire to go through. Right now, I've got twisted 26 gauge in a sleeper coil build, and I'll go through that here. And well, hell, I'll go ahead and just dive on up close and show you what I'm talking about. All right, we're back. I got her unscrewed from the battery. Got my battery laid up yonder. This in a nutshell. Focus. And hang on. I'm gonna make her focus for me. I'm gonna make her focus. Hocus pocus. Focus, you bastard. There we go. Alright, this in a nutshell is your sleeper build. And like I said, this old Zenith, she got a pretty decent juice well to her. There's some reviews on this. This one isn't authentic. You get your 2 O-rings, got your 510 with the adjustable, got your crescent moon logo on the bottom, and the company logo. And for the life of me, I can't remember the company. If I was a good reviewer at this, I'd have the box laying around here, but I don't remember what I did with it. But now, in a nutshell, your sleeper coil, you start off here, you build one coil, then you run your wire through your center post, you build your second coil, and you end it over here. That's all one continuous wire, all through all of that. I'm running her around, you chasing her. But now the Zenith, like I said, it's got those Allen head set screws on there. It's got nice big old wide openings, and they're flat. You can run that flat wire through there if you want to. Something on there. I'll have to clean that off here in just a second. But they're flat where you can run that flat wire through there. But I've got, like I said, that's twisted 26 gauge, and it fits in there just fine. And that old sleeper, she's kind of tricky to build. You can go watch Rip Trippers. He's got a review or a tutorial on how to actually tie that thing and get it to working. But man, she works damn good. I like her. But that in a nutshell. Grab my top cap. I'll show you that thing. There's the top cap up close, folks. Like I said, you got your 2 air holes there, and you can kind of see on the inside. See there, you got your 1, you got your 2, or you can set it up in that one right there for just a single mode. It's got that Delrin insulator up top up there. Looks kind of cool. I got the black because it matches my AR and it matches my other new little toy that I got, which I actually got the new little toy after I got this. But still, I'm kind of partial to the old black colorations. Just looks cool, looks sneaky. But anyway, that in a nutshell is your Zenith. I'm gonna zoom back out or go back out to normal here, and I'll show you how to wick her. All right, I got my cut, and I got me a piece already tore off here. I had it in my box. That's one thing that old Russian 91 box is good for. Keeps all my supplies in one place for me. But I'll kind of get her. I'll just real slowly do this. I'll kind of twist and pull and twist and pull and get her down where I need her at. But now like I said. And I'll show you a trick here in just a second, or the trick that I use when I'm building my coils to kind of get a rough estimate of where they're at. That way I know, okay, I need another wrap, or I need another 2 wraps, or maybe need another 3 wraps on her. It just kind of helps me out to not. It takes the guesswork out, I guess is what I would say about that. It takes a lot of your guesswork out. All right, now there's one. And I always start on this thing. You see, this is the one on the furthest post over here. I always start and pull it through, and I leave the longer end on this side over here. I've seen a lot of videos on how to wick on how to do the coils, and I've seen a couple on how to wick some stuff. But I'm going to show you just because this. I had somebody show this to me because I didn't know this, and hell, if you can't find it on here and you don't know it and you ask somebody, well, hell, might as well put it on here. But anyway, you're going to cut this one, and this is all subjective, but I take roughly about from here, from the edge of your coil to the edge of your deck, and I add that much. I basically use that as my halfway point, and I double that over to here, and that's where I cut. Like I said, these are just my old trusty clippers. They work pretty damn good. But I cut that there. And this end here, I'll just kind of pick where it's starting to fray off, and I'll just kind of dress it and trim it up a little bit. I'll pull that off of there. And what I do here is I take my little screwdriver and kind of fold her in half, and I'll tuck it up under there. I'll tuck it in the channel or in the back side of the well, on the back side of the post. This little booger here, I'll kind of flare it back out and kind of get it to fray back out a little bit. and I'll take and tuck that down, but I tuck a bunch of it back behind this post. But whatever I do on both sides, and like I said, I was showed to do this. If I'm wrong and somebody knows a different way of doing this, hell, I'll try it. But this has worked for me. It's worked real well for me. I mean, I'm chucking out a lot of vapor doing it like this. Whatever I do, underneath that coil right there, I always make sure it's free of cotton. It's free of cotton and got good airflow right straight through there. I do that on both sides. I make sure on mine that there's no cotton underneath them. Works real well. It saves your cotton. To me, it seems like it doesn't get burnt as quickly. I've got a friend of mine that he kind of goes through and does this, and he'll pack it all the way under there. Hell, he's always replacing his. Me, the only main reason I'm doing this is because A, I changed flavors, and B, it was starting to get a little funky tasting, which that's from me changing flavors. I'd had a different flavor in here, and I switched over a little bit ago, and I was lazy, didn't rewick it, just dried it out a little bit, and went to chucking the new juice in there, and it was getting a little funny tasting. Ooh, excuse me, Dr. Pepper coming up there. Now, let's face it, when you're vaping on something that's what's the name of that stuff? It's called Springtime Harvest. It's kind of a peachy, fruity, kind of a different tasting stuff. Sometimes I gotta get there's a little fine tail on this thing. I can't get it through there. I gotta kind of pinch and pull and get it to where I can get my old fingers on there. My old fingers don't work like they used to. And of course sometimes it don't come through there. But I switched over from that Springtime Harvest, that peachy fruity kind of just a spring fruit flavor, to back to my old strawberry limeade, just because I wanted something normal, something different. There we go. Now we're getting her pulled through there. Twist her a little bit, get a little more cotton up in there. There we go. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this all wicked up, and I will be right back. Alright, I got her in there, and I'm not going to tilt this thing over too far because I got her juiced up a little bit, but I got her dressed up and got her all tucked in there, and man, she's looking pretty. And once you start getting your juice on there and kind of getting your cotton saturated, you can take your little screwdriver and kind of fine tune and pick it and poke it and prod it, and it'll stay where you put it once you do that. But then you're going to look for your 2 airflow holes, and you're going to take on either side of your coil, I mean right where that coil is right there, I'm going to have 1 airflow hole right there next to it. And voila, there she is. And like I said, she is at 0.28 ohms. Y'all saw my little ohm meter. Whether you can read it or not, y'all saw it. But we shall screw her back down onto my good old trusty AR mod. Pop my little drip tip back in there. Hitting like a champion. Alright, guys. Now, the other thing I was talking about is when you're building your coils, like this piece of wire right here, that is 28 gauge twisted wire. I just got 2 pieces of 28 gauge, or not 28, it's 26 gauge. I rephrase that. This is the thicker stuff. 2 pieces of 26 gauge, and I just take 1 long piece and double it over. You hold at the far end. You take the 2 little loose ends, which would be these 2 ends on this piece. You'll put them in the chuck part of a drill, the little closey part of the drill. You'll put them in there, and you'll kind of close it down by hand and get them good and tight. Then you'll take this other end back here and hold it, and just ease down on that trigger until it starts twisting up. And you'll sit there and twist it and twist it and twist it and twist it until it's just as fine and closed together as a good old piece of barbed wire. That is good wire. I like the twisted wire. But when you're building your coil, when you start, you get it on there and you start wrapping it around there and you think you've got it right, you take your ohm meter, and like mine, it reads 0.4 ohms high for whatever reason. I can sit there and touch these 2 leads together and it'll read 0.4 ohms. Well, once you've got your coil, say your coil is right here, you'll take 1 lead and put it on this side of the coil, it'll work better if I get this other way here. You'll take one lead and put it on this side of your coil, and you got your coil right here, and you'll take your other lead and put it right there, and read your ohm meter. It'll tell you exactly what that little coil right there is sitting at. Now you just set her right there, and have your coil in the middle, and it'll tell you what that coil's sitting at, and that'll give you a rough estimate of what that coil, what build what ohm build you're doing. But that's, in a nutshell, is your Zenith RDA and a little bit of rewicking it. Like I said, I'm not going to rebuild my coils. I've had this one in here for, oh hell, about a week now, that sleeper coil build. I like the shit out of it. Of course, something else I like the shit out of, and like I said, I've got a lot of thanks to give to Vulgar Vape Dude. I've had this thing, let's see, I got it about a week ago now, and I've been vaping on this for about a week, and bear with me, I stuck an old Edelbrock sticker I had laying around in my toolbox on it, just to kind of keep me from scratching it up until I can get me a good wrap. This here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Hanamod's clone. This is the Hana V3 clone. I like the shit out of this. You know, some of the reviews that I watched said when you hit the fire button, it doesn't go to firing right away. Man, I'm here to tell you that this thing does. This is top work. I like this thing for a clone. Man, it is damn good. Like I said, I got mine from Vulgar Vape Dude. He kind of was helping people out there. You can go watch his channel, and hell, he'll probably help you out too. He's got a supplier he can get these for. Takes 18650 battery. It's got that DNA 30 knockoff chip in there, and man, it works damn good. I'll probably do a little review on her later. Like I said, I'm going to get a wrap. I just got the old Edelbrock sticker stuck on there, kind of where I grab and where my hand goes all the time. Keep me from scratching it so bad, because that is aluminum, and it does scratch. Now I got my old Russian thrown on top of there. Some good old Granny's apple pie in there. Anyway, guys, I'm going to take a vape. We're going to close this out. Adios.